As we start this week looking at Proverbs in our Bible studies together, I encourage you to be reading chapters 1, 2 and 3 to get a good grounding on what the book of Proverbs is all about. And many people, of course, say it's the Proverbs of Solomon. A lot of it is the Proverbs of Solomon, but there is other wisdom in there, not just from Solomon, but from other kings of Israel. It's very much a collection of wise sayings, proverbs, which are given by God for us, for our lives. In fact, it's very important as we look at the beginning of the book of Proverbs. It tells us why it's written. It tells us it's for our instruction, it's for our growth, for our education. This has a ring to it, the same as 2 Timothy, when talking about the purpose of Scripture. These were proverbs of old, which were teaching people right back then the ways of God. And these things are so key to our life, and they're really great. I encourage you, because they're like bite-sized things that you can pick up. It's not like you have to read a whole chapter in a go. You can just read one or two verses which give that one proverb, that one message, and you take that and you dwell on it and think upon it and see what God is teaching you from that, how you can apply it to your life. And they are all very applicable to your life. But where does it start? Verse 7 of Proverbs chapter 1, it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." The beginning of knowledge is to know the fear of God. And you say, what is the fear of God? I'm not afraid of God. Or should I be afraid of God? Because He is a mighty God and powerful. He is able to create a universe. It says that we could not stand in His sight. We would be burnt to a crisp if we entered His presence in our human bodies. That's why we get new bodies when we enter into heaven, to be able to stand before the throne of God without being destroyed by His glory. Even in Old Testament times, to approach the presence of God, just the appearance, the Shekinah glory inside of the innermost Holy of Holies was reserved for one priest, one time throughout the year, and they had to prepare themselves for weeks beforehand to make sure they're purified, they'd done all the sacrifices, they'd done everything they could to be prepared to enter into the presence of the glory of God. That's not even to see God Himself. To learn the fear of God. But the other thing about the fear of God, you look at this all the way through Scripture, is it says those that fear God do His commandments. It says that those who do not fear God do not follow the ways of God. They are evil in their ways. And so very simply, are you seeking to do God's will, to fulfill His commandments? If you are, that is the beginning of knowledge, and then you start taking this instruction and applying it to your life. So I encourage you to do that. Read more of Proverbs, dig into it, and see what God has in store for you.